sometimes it just gets to does something where it says the orientation is locked, even though I always now have it on horizontal orientation because a friend of mine once told me that that's better better for a live stream instead of it being vertical, making it somewhat of a now. Recently, I did have to take away some mods. I took away some mods, so the only people that are mods now on my channel are people that I trust more than anything. So, yeah, there should be nobody anymore. There shouldn't be anybody anymore on my live streams that are able to do anything as far as unhide people and whatnot. So here's hoping that stays. Here's hoping it stays that way. But let's start off the WWE the live stream with Monday Night Raw. As always, obviously now, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm on YouTube Studio. I got my iPad with me and I'm on YouTube Studio, so I'm just mainly just looking to see if there's anybody that I know that needs to be unhidden or anyone that I need that might need to take a mod away from. But hey, let's get on with the show. Let's start off with Monday Night Raw. It started out with the Usos. The Usos are now basically back as a tag team. I'm okay with it. Definitely, they bring some legitimacy to the tag team division on Raw that is sorely lacking. Now, I know a lot of people are probably a little interested in what happened after the main event. So, but I'll get to that when I get to that. Obviously, these so were basically just they were just talking about reuniting and about the vision and about wanting to go after the vision. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed come out. They obviously challenged the Usos to a match at the WrestlePalooza, and that match has now since been made official. So as of right now, and obviously later on in the show, we have another match made for WrestlePalooza. Palooza. So hey, it was a great, nice segment. Obviously, it led to a brawl, which then obviously WWE, which then LA Knight came out to essentially get his hands on the Vision because he apparently is not done with the. Because apparently he's not done with the Vision. He can't be done with the Vision just yet until he. But I don't know what. But hey, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It is what it is. This led to the obvious match being made official for the main event, that being okay. I just want to do something for a second because a friend of mine on Messenger decided to listen to me saying, "I don't see your live stream." Well, I'll bring it up. I had to restart my live stream, y'all. Yeah, in case some of you guys wanna. Oh, one of my friends is going live on YouTube for the first time, I think, in a while. At least that I can think of. But hey, if any of you guys, if there's anybody here that wants to, if there's anybody that's just now coming in, yeah, I heard that. I saw that right before I went live. And Maroni, if you're wondering why you don't have a mod on this particular account, it's because recently I had some problems with people getting basically getting unhidden. Even after I would hide them, they would get unhidden by people. I don't know who, but I've now gotten rid of basically every mod situation, every mod that is not someone that I trust wholeheartedly. Got rid of their mod positions. So it is what it is. I figured, you know what, it had to be done anyways. So I know that is crazy. He was only there for like more than a year and a half. But hey, go. But hey, it is what it is. I think Kim leaving, obviously, I think is the best decision for him. So who knows where he's going to end up now, but I guess we'll find out where he ends up eventually. Also, we don't know if he's got one of those 30-day non-compete clause things that would prevent him from going to any other promotion immediately. But we'll see what happens. If you guys want to hit that like button, feel free. I see somebody already has. Thank you for that. If you guys want to hit that like button, feel free to do so. It is never required. It's never required, but I do appreciate it. Obviously, the views help as well. If you guys have the ability to share this live stream onto your own channels, feel free to do so as well. Again, not required, but I do appreciate the love being shown. Yeah. Well, we got another like. Thank you. Can we get this to 5 likes? 5 likes minimum, and then I'll be okay with whatever happens after that. After this opening segment, we got another Asuka Io Sky backstage segment. Obviously, I think this is leading to an eventual heel turn from Asuka. Obviously, Io Sky will face off against Stephanie Vekar for the Women's World Championship at WrestlePalooza. That I think will probably see the heel turn go down. Obviously, either Asuka costs Io the match, or just like a few weeks ago when Io Sky had a match against Roxanne Perez, which she lost. Io and Asuka and Kairi tried to interfere in the match on Io's behalf, but it ultimately failed. So it really backfired. So that could be what happens, or they could just straight up do the heel turn, just have her just turn heel on Asuka, on Io. But I think that's exactly what it's leading towards. So it is what it is. We have a backstage segment. Rusev is backstage, where he was confronted by Penta. My secret account, you are gone. There's nobody else. There's literally nobody here that can unhide you now. So because now all of the mods I have are not. Now the only mods I have are people that are actually people that I trust. So thank you, but your services are no longer required. Your services are no longer required, Mox. This would then eventually lead to a match being made official. So, hey. After this, we got Lyra Valkyria versus Raquel Rodriguez. And to say that Raquel Rodriguez, since those comments that Kevin Nash made about her, it's been clear that it's perfectly clear that since Kevin Nash made those comments about Raquel Rodriguez, Raquel has decided, you know what, I'm just going to step up my game and I'm going to prove Kevin Nash wrong. I mean, Kevin Nash is probably one of the biggest big men in professional wrestling history. And so you think she's gonna, so yeah, she's gotten so much better, and a lot of her matches since then have been just really good. Maybe not great, but they've been really good. And this was another really good match against Lyra Valkyria. And obviously the match ended exactly how I thought it would end. Lyra would get the win, but then I guess Raquel and Roxanne would just get the beatdown on Lyra post-match, which is exactly how it's happened, how it's gone down every time Raquel or Roxanne have a match, because obviously the other one's going to be at ringside. And if so, hey, it is what it is. We also got LA Knight backstage with Adam Pearce. He's clearly frustrated. Okay, I don't know why you're still here, because I've now gotten rid of every mod that I know is corrupt in my universe. Corrupt. So yeah, either you're still I don't know. Okay, I don't know who's doing it, but someone's apparently still hiding my secret account. I don't know who is doing it, but whoever is doing it needs to stop. Well, it is what it is. I guess I'm eventually I might just have to just get rid of all my mods and just have no mods on my channel. And even then, it might not do anything. And even then, it might not work, because he might still, for some weird reason, might still find a way to unhide himself, get himself unhidden for whatever reason. Yeah. 3 likes. Can we get it to 5? Hopefully. We also got the New Day. They are obviously now, as of right now, they have a petition going around that they're trying to get signed to have the Mexican Destroyer banned after Penta has hit Xavier Woods with multiple Mexican Destroyers as of late, and recently revealed on X apparently that he had to have surgery on his head. The video that I saw that talked about it, they didn't show the actual photos because apparently they were too graphic. So they showed out a blurred out version, but they said if you want to look at the actual. Shut up, Mox. Get out of my live stream right now, okay? You're not welcome here. You are not welcome here, so go. why the hell why you feel the need to come onto my live streams and mock me and ridicule me, and it never works. It's like every time you say something, it's like, oh, timed out, timed out, timed out. Like, dude, you're not getting rid of me. You will never get rid of me. I will always be here, and you will always have to live with the fact that I will always be here. So why don't you mosey on out of here, and why don't you do something useful with your life for once, you bitch. Oh, I'm not crying. I'm just pissed off that you seemingly can't seem to get the point across that whatever it is you're trying to do, it is not going to work. It's not going to work. You're trying to get me to like leave to leave YouTube or whatever. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I'm sorry. You're not going to make me leave, ever. I'm staying. I'm going to live a long life. I'm going to live a long life. And I'm serious, and I'm being serious when I say this. I hope you die first. I hope you die before I do. And I'm serious. I hope you die first. Yeah. We got Rusev versus Penta. This match lasted about 10 minutes. Nothing special, but it was a good match. It was a really good match. First time ever. And hey, Rusev won. Good for him. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know what, Mox? I hope your YouTube account gets banned. It gets permanently banned, suspended, whatever. I don't care. I hope. Dang it. We then get Dominik Mysterio. He is out there. He's out there talking to Vic Joseph. He called out El Hijo de Vikingo in obviously their Worlds Collide match, which happened last night. And congratulations to Dirty Dom, who is now a double champion, having beat El Hijo de Vikingo at Worlds Collide to become the AAA Mega Champion, which I'm guessing is their version of the WWE Champion or the World Championship. So congrats to Dirty Dom on becoming a double champion. Also, after this, we got another backstage Judgment Day segment. Finn Balor and Dominik Mysterio. Finn Balor isn't exactly happy right now that Dominik seems to be getting all chummy with El Grande Americano. And if this is going in the direction that I think it's going in, this will obviously eventually lead to the split between Dominik Mysterio and Finn Balor, leading to Dominik being outed from Judgment Day, and potentially leading to Finn Balor winning the Intercontinental Championship from Dominik Mysterio, which I do think is what they're planning. I mean, I hope that's what they're planning, because I would hate for that to not be the case, because I don't think they really planned on AJ Styles winning the title from Dominik anyways. I just don't know if that was Bryce Harper. My name is not Bryce Harper. I mean, yes, his last name is Harper. I get it. But he's not even related to me. To be honest, though, I wish he kind of was. I kind of wish he was, though, because Yeah. Hey, Aaron. Any of you guys that are just now coming in, if you want to hit that like button, feel free to do so. If you have the ability to share my live stream out to your channels, YouTube channels, feel free to do so as well. Well, thank you for that like, Aaron. I'm pretty sure that's you who did that. Wait. Uh, Aaron, I might need to ask you a question if you're still here. Okay, I need to, okay, I need, okay, I think I may or may not have found the last of the rogue mods. Cause I'm starting to think, let's see. Because if this is really you, Aaron, wait, unhide? I didn't hide you on this channel. I'm gonna do it as a standard mod. I didn't hide you on this channel, so I wonder if something management. Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, I think I found the problem. I think I found the solution to my problem. And there, I think I got rid of, because apparently I had someone on, I was a mod on my channel, Chief Sage, and I know that you had a YouTube channel that was named that, but I wasn't sure if maybe you had changed your name. Hopefully now the accounts that I'm gonna have to hide, are hidden and are not coming back. Because I have since gotten rid of, well, the only person who still has a mod that I know would probably unhide the fake Mox accounts is Nate, but he hardly ever shows up to my live streams anymore anyways, so hey. Let's hope that this is it. This is it, and I'm finally able. Okay, apparently no, that's still. Apparently someone is still unhiding Brian Schaefer in my secret account. Like, why are they still getting unhidden? Because it's cool. Because I've gotten rid of all the fake mods. I've gotten rid of all the fake mods on my channel. I don't have any fake mods on my channel anymore. I only have mods that I know and trust. But apparently, it's still not enough because it's still being unhidden somehow by somebody, and I don't know who it is. I don't know. But hey, 5 likes. Thanks for the 5 likes, guys. We got an AJ Styles promo. Now, before we got AJ Styles versus El Grande Americano, but before this match took place, we got AJ Styles cutting a promo during the commercial break before his match took place, and he said a few things that many people thought were very interesting. I mean, he name dropped. He name dropped. He name dropped Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. He name dropped those 2 guys. I will talk about the New Day however long I want to. And I don't know why you're still here on my secret account because I keep hiding you, and for some reason, someone keeps wanting to unhide you. It's as if someone is legitimately trying to piss me off because it's working, and it's working. Okay, I don't know why you're just not leaving. Like it's like you have to be here. You have to be here, Mox. You have to be here because you cannot let me live without you coming onto my live streams and making fun of me every single chance you get. And I know it's you, so don't even try to tell me that it's not you. I will hide you as many times as I have to. It is what it is. He name dropped Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and he talked about how there's nobody here to back him up anymore. Meechin's over on SmackDown doing her thing with BFAB, so there's nobody there to protect him anymore, to have his back. And he feels like someone has orchestrated a plot to keep him from winning ever again. To keep him from winning ever again. And he also said that, maybe, just maybe, there's somebody here who just doesn't want me here. A lot of people were like, is he shooting on Triple H? Is he shooting on Triple H? Now, apparently, since then, I have heard that this is not a shoot. This was not a shoot promo. It was a work, and that they're working a storyline that will involve AJ Styles' contract situation, which his contract is supposed to end in February of next year. So obviously they're going to play into it, and it's already known that his contract is up in February of next year. So I guess they're just playing into AJ's frustrations at his current booking, which even his son has since made light of by expressing his displeasure at his father's booking. But hey, it is what it is. The match between Grande and Americano was good. Went about 11 minutes. Good match. AJ Styles won this match. I was kind of surprised they didn't just give Grande the win. But AJ Styles won via help from Dragon Lee. So, hey, it is what it is. Congrats to AJ on an important win for him. Let's move on. We also got Jimmy and Jey Uso backstage. Jay is a little bit worried, let's say, for Jey Uso, because recently Jey Uso has been saying a couple of things that has gotten Jimmy a little rattled, apparently. Jimmy Uso is starting to feel like Jay is starting to sound like Roman Reigns a little bit, which makes a whole lot of sense considering Roman Reigns in the build up to Clash in Paris gave Jey Uso some advice about how he needs to stop thinking about everybody else and just start, thinking about himself and thinking about number one. I mean, yeah, you're constantly coming out here helping out everybody that needs help. It's like eventually you're gonna have to realize that you have to look out for number one and yourself. So, it is what it is. What it is. We got AJ Lee, in a segment on Monday Night Raw for the first time in over 10 years. Over 10 years. She talked about what she's been doing since her retirement, basically. After WrestleMania 431, she talked about Talked about obviously having to go into therapy. There was a huge therapy chant after this. And obviously, a large part of this segment was devoted to therapy. Obviously, Becky Lynch came out. And then Seth Rollins. At one point, Becky Lynch even decided to be like, I'm gonna need therapy after this. Yeah, this obviously went exactly how I would expect it to go. AJ Lee, Becky Lynch being what she's been over the last few months since turning heel. An annoying person who just loves to, I guess, ham it up. But hey, it was good. It was a great segment. Obviously, it led to a match being made official for WrestlePalooza. AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, probably, if not the biggest mixed tag team match WWE has ever produced. And it'll be the first time that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins have had a mixed tag team match since 2019 Stomping Ground. So, hey, it is what it is. Congrats to AJ Lee. She now has a match. Obviously, this could also lead to a singles match eventually between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I could see that being the case. But, hey, congrats. AJ Lee is now back, and she's now back for full time. And she's now going to be wrestling for the first time in over 10 years. I cannot wait to see that match. But it is what it is. Let's move on. We got Nikki Bella. We got another Bayley vignette. She is again veering close more and more over to the dark side, somewhat. I guess from what she's still hearing those voices in her head. She's still hearing those voices in her head like Randy Orton does. She wants to forgive Lyra Valkyria for everything she has done this year, everything she's said and done to Lyra. But the voices in her head are telling her not to. Also, we got Nikki Bella versus Asuka. Lasted about 10 minutes, and this match was a significant improvement over her match at Clash in Paris against Becky Lynch. The match at Clash in Paris was, to say it was terrible was an understatement. It was definitely not good, and it was definitely not worthy of the PLE spot that it was given. I know they wanted to give us at least one women's match, but did it have to be that match? Did it have to be that match? It is what it is. This match was better. Only about 10 minutes. Asuka won. Congrats to her. We then get the main event. LA Knight versus Bronson Reed. Went about 14 minutes. Bronson Reed. LA Knight won, but Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker decided to beat down on LA Knight post match anyways because why not? And this led to the Usos coming out to make the save, which then led to a shocking moment as LA Knight was sort of dabbing up Jimmy Uso and I guess sort of thanking Jimmy for saving his ass. Jay comes out of nowhere and hits a spear on LA Knight, which was actually, I think, one of the best spears Jay Uso has done as of late. Because now whenever he does the spear, it looks like he's going in for a big old bear hug and just doesn't even do the spear correctly. That was the legitimate spirit, the LA Knight. Now, people obviously were immediately thinking, oh no, heel turn, heel turn, heel turn. No, it's not. It's not a heel turn. I don't think Jey Uso is turning heel. They literally just brought the Usos back together as a tag team. And hopefully this is actually a full-fledged return, because earlier this year we got a so-called quote-unquote return of the Usos as a tag team, but it was just to further the storyline between Gunther and Jay heading into WrestleMania. This might actually be a legitimate return of the Usos as an actual tag team to help Raw's struggling tag team division. It's going to happen. So this is not a heel turn. I don't think this is a heel turn. I think this is Jay simply acknowledging Roman's comments and being like, dude, I don't need to be thinking of everybody else. I need to be thinking of myself from now on. And so I'm hoping that is the case. I'm hoping it's not a heel turn, because they just brought the Usos back together and they're immediately just going to turn one of them heel. That doesn't sound like it's going to happen. That just doesn't sound right. If I was to rate Monday Night Raw this week, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Pretty darn good. Nothing special, but it was a good episode. Now on to Tuesday in NXT. This episode of NXT is the go home show, so to speak, for NXT Homecoming, which is this upcoming Tuesday, which will be live from Full Sail University for the first time in 5 years. The last time I think they went to Full Sail University and did a show in Full Sail University was NXT TakeOver 30. So they will be back at Full Sail University this week for the first time this week in 5 years, which is great. I like it. But it is what it is. We got Josh Briggs. The show opened up for Josh Briggs versus Javon Evans. This was made official because of an attack last week by Josh Briggs to Javon Evans during a segment in which Javon Evans was basically just talking about NXT Heat Wave, his loss in NXT Heat Wave. NA. But so this match lasted about 13 minutes. And to say it was a good match would be an understatement. This was a pretty good match. Really good match, by the way, even. And Josh Briggs got the win. Now, apparently, the match ended because Josh Briggs was able to load up, I think, one of his hands with a chain, with a necklace that he was wearing around his neck, and was able to get on sort of like a knockout punch to Javon Evans for the 1-2-3. Good for him. Good for him. Then we got Oba Femi, Ricky Saints backstage. Woo! Excuse me. Obviously, they're going one-on-one at No Mercy for the NXT title, but next week at NXT Homecoming, they will be involved in a Grayson Waller effect segment. So, great. Grayson Waller is also going to be making a trip down to NXT again for the first time since earlier this year. That should be good. We then get Dark States versus Hank and Tank, a rematch for the tag team titles. This match was in about 11 minutes. It was good. And obviously Joe Hendry he made an appearance again to, obviously, I'm sure he was there to help. Came out to help Hank and Tank, obviously, but that didn't work out so well for this team. But that didn't exactly work out for this team. And so, and Darkseid was still able to win, regardless of the added help from Joe Hendry. So, great. It is what it is. Congratulations to Darkseid. I think Darkseid are going to hold on to those titles for a while. Because, like, when the announcement was made, when this rematch was made official, I was like, I don't think Hank and Tank are going to retake the titles right after they lost them. Darkseid just won the titles, and you expect us to believe that Darkseid's just going to lose them? Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's not going to happen. But we got another vignette or so video package for Blake Monroe, who is apparently not done with Jordynne Grace. Obviously, I think they might have one more match in them. And this match will probably be the match that sends Jordynne Grace up to the main roster, hopefully SmackDown, because SmackDown is sorely lacking in actual main event level talent, or even just talent in the mid card. It's like Julia's US champion, but she's not being booked really that well as champion. In fact, I'm sure some of us probably thinking that she's being booked worse than Zelina Vega was as champion. Yeah. Then we got Ethan Page. We got an Tavion Heights. Then we got after this, we got a Ethan Page, Tavion Heights video package talking about their feud heading into tonight's flag match, into that night's flag match, which if I'm not mistaken, was the first flag match on WWE television or WWE programming since Battleground 2017, which I actually have on DVD as a two-disc, basically a double pay-per-view. I have both NXT Battleground and Great Balls of Fire. It's a two-disc set. And that was a good flag match between Rusev and John Cena, but that was the last flag match, I'm guessing, that we've had in WWE until now. For that, though, we got Fabi Apache from AAA versus Natalya versus Lainey Reed. This is a match in the Speed Match tournament, which will crown a new #1 contender for Sol Ruka's Speed Championship. Now, these are speed matches, which means they only last 3 minutes in length, which I don't know why. But hey, it is what it is. Better. But hey. We got. Now, obviously, Natalya was in attendance in the audience, and Natalya was apparently going to face Fabi Apache at Worlds Collide last night in a match, in a #1 contenders match for the Reina de Reinas Championship, which I'm guessing is their version of their main event women's championship. So she obviously didn't get involved physically, but just distracted Fabi Apache, which led to Lainey Reed getting the win. So she will face off against Candice LeRae in the semifinals, with the finals being obviously the champion Soro Ruka versus whoever wins this tournament at No Mercy. So good for them. We got Tavion Heights versus Ethan Page. Flag match. This match went about 7 minutes 30 seconds. Not bad. Not bad at all. It was a good tag. It was a good flag match. And Tavion Heights won, which I actually was a little surprised by. I thought he would. I thought he would lose, but hey, congrats to him. Now, post match, we had an NXT return in the form of Tyler Breeze, Prince Pretty. He decided to come out. He was basically dressed in his Tyler Breeze getup, selfie stick and all, and he took a selfie with Tyler Breeze and he took a selfie with Ethan Page in the ring, which eventually led to a match being made for NXT Homecoming, and it has now been made official. Ethan Page will defend his North American Championship against Tyler Breeze on the show. Should be a good match because I've seen Tyler Breeze wrestle on NXT. I saw his match against. I've watched NXT Takeover 25. That was where he had a match against former WWE superstar Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship on that night as well. So this will be his second match for an NXT North American Championship, and that match was pretty darn good back then, being NXT Takeover 25. So I have high hopes that this match will be good. So here's what it is. Congrats to Tavion, and I'm anxious to see this match between Ethan Page and Tyler Breeze, who is apparently Canadian, so Canadian violence. Oh shit. I mean, even Chelsea Green apparently on X decided to voice her displeasure at Tyler Breeze, apparently. But it is what it is. We got DIY out there. We got DIY cutting a promo. Well, then we got Trick Williams interrupting. Obviously, DIY told Trick Williams, if you want to get in this ring, you can come and get in this ring, but the same thing that happened last week is gonna happen this week. We're gonna beat you up. Trick Williams said, you know what? I will get in this ring, but the only difference from last week is that I have backup this time in the form of Carmelo Hayes, his former best friend. Now it's a full circle moment when Carmelo Hayes went to the main roster. He was a heel at the time. Trick Williams was the babyface, but now they're both heel. So it makes perfect sense. And congrats to Carmelo. And this led to a match being made official. I guess in Johnny Gargano's eyes, this is the biggest tag team match in NXT history. But I'd say their match against the Revival, 2 out of 3 Falls, Takeover Toronto, is the biggest NXT tag team match of all time. But that's up for debate. We also got the main event, which was Soro Ruka versus the Culling of Izzy Dane and Tatum Paxley versus Fatal Influences Jasmine Nix and Fallon Henley. Obviously, this was for a shot at the women's tag team titles, held currently by Charlotte Flair and obviously Alexa Bliss. The Culling were actually able to win this match. And congrats to them. Post-match, obviously, JC Jane went ballistic. Was pissed off that her girls failed to represent Fatal Influence the way they should have, which is basically her saying you should have won, but you didn't, and now you decided to embarrass me tonight by losing. This then led to, apparently, as this was going on, 3 SUVs decided to show up, which then we were able to find out who had decided to show up. First, Stephanie Becker comes in. Obviously, she is able to give JC her props for beating her for the NXT Women's title. And then we got Tiffany Stratton coming out. And then we got Mommy Rhea Ripley coming out. And this has now been made official, a 6-woman tag team match for NXT Homecoming. Tiffany Stratton, Stephanie Becker, and Rhea Ripley versus Fatal Influence. To say this is gonna be a great tag team match is an understatement. This NXT was very. If I were to rate this, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe an 8. Next week might be an 8. But we'll see. We got AEW Dynamite. Again, a show that is basically lacking in just about everything. Top stars, storytelling, even matches, because a lot of people want to say, oh, well, at least AEW is able to put on great matches week after week. Yeah, that's not an excuse anymore. You can't use that as an excuse as to why AEW is even somewhat relevant now. Still, we got Hangman Page versus Josh Alexander on AEW Dynamite this week. A match that I thought would be a match that some people would have thought 4 years ago, oh, this is a great match, great dream match. But now it is basically nothing. It's nothing. It's a nothing match. Doesn't mean anything anymore. Doesn't mean anything. And so it happened. Hangman won. Great. Josh Alexander has lost the majority of his matches since coming to AEW. I'm surprised he's even there. But it is what it is. We then got Kyle Fletcher coming out post-match. Obviously, he wants a shot at the AEW World Championship, which Hangman agrees to, but on one condition. Kyle Fletcher, when the match happens, Kyle Fletcher has to leave the Don Callis family behind. He has to leave the Don Callis family backstage, and he has to wrestle this match one-on-one, no outside help, no help. Hangman Page wants Kyle Fletcher to prove that he is deserving of this match, and that he's not just getting it just so we can have the Don Callis family run in and help him win the title. He doesn't want Kyle Fletcher to have I guess he doesn't want Kyle Fletcher to make any excuses as to why he lost. But then again, he probably will make excuses as to why he lost, mainly in the form of my family wasn't out there to save me, to help me win. But hey, should be a good match when it happens at All Out. But hey, it is what it is. We got Anthony Bowens. He's outside being interviewed. I can't remember who it is that was interviewing him. This then led to former ECW guy Jerry Lynn apparently decided to interrupt and just had a few words to say about Anthony Bowens' recent behavior. Well, it is what it is. Behavior and yeah. Yeah, Anthony Bowens recently has been nothing short of a bit of a prick. But hey, let's move on. We also got an MJF promo. We also got an MJF promo. He is set to face Mark Briscoe at AW All Out. And he doesn't care what stipulation Mark Briscoe decides to he doesn't care what stipulation Mark eventually decides on. The result is going to be the same. MJF winning and Mark Briscoe losing. Great. I hope Mark Briscoe actually does win. We then get FTR, and FTR segments didn't really get off because the fans were just booing the shit out of FTR. And so, yeah, Dax was like, so you guys aren't even gonna let me talk? And obviously, we knew the answer to that was yeah, sounding yes, in the form of boos raining down on FTR. Then FTR decided to leave the ring. Dax then decided to get in the face of a fan who has since been identified as an ex-user who decided to buy a ticket, go to the AW Dynamite show this week, and was basically there to see if Dax Harwood would get in his face and punch his face. Like, okay, I don't know who the guy was. I'm not sure who the guy was. I might be able to find out who the guy was eventually, but okay, this guy's got guts getting in the face of FTR. We got Riho and Alex Windsor versus Mercedes Moné and Emi Sakura. What more do I need to say? Nothing special. Nothing special. It furthers, I guess you could say it furthers the Riho Mercedes feud right now for the TBS Championship, which I'm guessing will be at All Out. But the heels won this match. Congrats. Yay. Am I supposed to care? I don't know. We also got Ricochet versus Shelton Benjamin. To say this was a good match. This was a good match. And obviously, and before the match, AW was even willing to acknowledge the fact that these two had prior history before their time in AEW, which I thought was actually a little bit touching because obviously, yes, they did have prior history in AEW, in WWE. They had prior history in WWE, so it made sense for them to at least acknowledge that. Even if they didn't exactly name drop WWE per se, they at least subtle. It was a subtle acknowledgement. And Ricochet won. Congrats to Ricochet. We then get a Jon Moxley promo. He was promo, or at least vignette, heading into the main event match. He was basically talking about Darby Allin, his opponent at All Out. And it is what it is. Good stuff from Jon Moxley. And then we get the main event. Young Bucks and the Death Riders versus Yops of Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Samoa Joe versus and Bandito and Brody King, the current AW Tag Team Champions. The heels, I think the faces actually did win this match. Now, this match, obviously, the heels got the advantage. Death Riders got the advantage. Then Darby Allin, by attacking the faces post-match, to send it to Darby Allin coming out. to assist. But then eventually somebody in a hoodie decided to come out and just blast Darby Allin. And it turned out to be Daniel Garcia. So apparently we've got something interesting with the Death Riders, and it only took them like almost a year. It's been now almost a year since this new version of the Death Riders has been was made official when they took Bryan Danielson out. Great. It's been almost a year. It has been almost a year now. AW All Out this year will mark the 1 year anniversary of the new Death Riders making their presence known. With Pac now being in the group. So hey, it only took them about a year for this to happen. And I think it's just too little too late. There's nothing you can do to save the Death Riders from being toxic to AW television. And this is what it is. If I was to rate AW Dynamite this week, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Ricochet, Shelton Benjamin match was good. Good, and I actually did still care about it. And the only other thing I actually liked was the MJF promo. Great. Great. Now on to Friday Night SmackDown. This was a good show, but not a great one by any stretch of the means. We got Brock Lesnar in the opening segment. Now, we all thought he was going to explain why he targeted John Cena, but that didn't happen because R-Truth came out. And they decided to do another R-Truth Brock Lesnar segment, which, if you remember, they had a segment in 2020. And in 2020, heading into the Royal Rumble, where R-Truth was able to actually make Brock Lesnar crack and laugh. That was huge at that time, and it was a bet, and it was basically a bet. They were betting that R-Truth wasn't going to be able to get Brock Lesnar to laugh or to break character, because Brock Lesnar has almost always been just this silent monster type. He doesn't talk a whole lot, and when he does, it's very impactful. And Paul Heyman would always do the talking for him, which makes sense, perfect sense. Which makes sense. Why would Brock Lesnar need to talk anyways? And this was a funny segment, but it was along the lines of it was so bad it was actually good. Then again, it was like so bad it was funny in a way. So obviously this eventually led to Brock Lesnar hitting an F5 on R-Truth, which unfortunately caused Brock Lesnar's jeans to sort of rip in the back, showing Brock Lesnar's blue underwear. Ooh, yeah, no, that was the funniest part of the segment. Yeah, that was the funniest part. And Brock Lesnar even decided, you know what, I'm just going to play into it for a few minutes or so. But hey, it is what it is. We got Ray Phoenix backstage. Obviously, Sami Zayn is now continuing the tradition that John Cena set with the US Open Challenge. This week, the Open Challenge was accepted by Ray Phoenix. This match was a great match. Went about for 16 minutes, and it was good. It was a good match. Sami Zayn won the title, won the match. I didn't think Sami was going to lose the title this quickly, but it was a great match nonetheless. But hey, we got After this, though, we did get a backstage segment with Julia and Kiana James and B-Fab. This then led to what I thought was going to be a match later on in the show, which then turned into a beatdown segment, which led to Michin coming out to make the save. It is what it is. It is what it is. We also got a Wyatt Six promo on the Street Profits. They are, I'm guessing this is going to lead to potentially one of the Street Profits turning heel on the other, which, to be honest, it's too late. It's too late. You had the chance to give Montez Ford the singles push he deserved when the roster wasn't nearly as stacked as it is now, and you missed that opportunity, and you gave up on that opportunity because you were so determined that Montez Ford was better off as a tag team performer and not a singles performer. Well, clearly, they're finally potentially giving us the Montez Ford singles push, but I think it's too little, too late. I think it's too late. They had the chance to do it, and they missed out on that opportunity years ago. And now WWE's roster is just too stacked, so stacked right now that I don't think that a singles push for Montez Ford is going to work. Because where are you going to slot him into? The U.S. title picture? Maybe, because that's probably about as much as I would do with him. If I was to give him a singles push, that's probably what I would do, give him a push for the U.S. title. Because he's not winning the world title. Montez Ford is not a world champion material right now. But a push for the U.S. title, I could see that. But it is what it is. We got an Aleister Black vignette on Damian Priest. This feud ain't over with. The matches so far have been very good, so I don't know what's going to happen, where their next match is going to be, but hopefully this feud ends on a high note for both superstars. But we got Secret Hervis backstage with Nick Aldis. Obviously, they won a shot at the women's tag team titles. They had a shot at the women's tag team titles, and they blew it. Why should they be given another chance? This then led to Nick Aldis making the announcement that they won a tag team title shot. They will face the winners of the apparent. So apparently we're getting the culling of Izzy Dane and Tatum Paxley versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss on NXT Homecoming. So that will be another two more NXT superstars making their NXT return. So we're getting a lot of nostalgia NXT stars on NXT this upcoming week. We got The Miz, who was wanting to talk to Nick Aldis about title opportunities. And Carmelo, he said that Carmelo already talked to him about that. But what Miz didn't know was that Carmelo Hayes talked to Nick Aldis about a U.S. title opportunity, not the tag team titles. Obviously, later we got. After this, though, we did get a career retrospective of John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. Match should be good. Actually, but hey, who knows? After this, we got Miz. We got Mello backstage, obviously Miz came up and was like, I spoke with Adam Pierce, and you already had spoken to him about a title opportunity. And yeah, Melo was talking with Sami Zayn right before this, and I'm guessing we're getting Melo versus Sami Zayn either next week or within the near future for the United States title. Should be a good match. Obviously, Miz was thinking that Melo had talked to Adam Pierce about a tag title opportunity, but no, Melo has been dead set on the United States title for weeks now. But apparently, Miz doesn't. Obviously, Melo was like, "What? Do you not think I can win the U.S. title?" And Miz was like, I think you can do whatever when you set your mind to, but you need to listen to me. You need to listen to me. Because I know what I'm talking about. I've been in this business for 20 years. 19 years actually, because he debuted in 2006. But yeah, this is obviously going to lead to the split of Melo and Miz, and Miz is going to turn heel on Melo, and it's mainly probably just going to be because Melo decided that he's just not going to listen to Miz anymore, and he thinks Miz is basically telling Carmelo Hayes, I know what's best for you. You don't know what's best for you. I know what's best for you. You need to stay in your lane and listen to me, because if you listen to me, you will be a superstar. Without me, you are nothing. We'll see what happens. We also got Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the women's title, WWE Women's title. This match was better than their SummerSlam match for sure. And went about 11 minutes. Was their best match? Was their better match? Obviously, now Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill, the match definitely ended in a double countout after Tiffany Stratton sort of landed very awkwardly on a missed moonsault attempt to the outside, which then led to Jade spearing Tiffany through the barricade, which then apparently, from whatever reason, resulted in one of the fastest 10 counts, which led to basically a double countout, so nobody lost and no title changed hands. Then Nia Jax came out and flattened both superstars. And so this is probably leading to a triple threat match between the three superstars. And who even asked for Nia Jax to still be involved in the women's title picture? Like, how many opportunities is WWE going to give her until they decide, you know what, she's gotten enough opportunities. Let's hold back. Something to think about. We got Drew McIntyre in the main event. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. A lot of people were like, this match has to be on WrestlePalooza. Why did they make this match for SmackDown and not WrestlePalooza? Like, dude, now we know why. The match, obviously, Drew McIntyre won the match. Obviously, I actually didn't know who was going to win. But then when Drew McIntyre won, I remembered, oh shit, the last match they had between each other was that Saturday night's main event in Atlanta, Georgia, and Randy Orton won that match. So hey, it is what it is. Drew McIntyre won. Obviously, post-match, Drew McIntyre decided to set Orton up for Claymore kick, and he was going to do it the same way that he did it to Cody Rhodes, writing him off, so to speak, so he could film Street Fighter. But obviously, this led to Cody Rhodes coming out, making the save. Cody Rhodes then grabs the mic as the show is ending and decides to call out Drew McIntyre and say, if you want to do this dance, Let's do it at WrestlePalooza. And so that match is now made official for the show. Great. We're getting Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes at WrestlePalooza, not Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Better, bigger match, anyways, because Cody Rhodes is the current WWE champion. But that's it. If I was to give this Friday Night SmackDown a rating, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Wasn't perfect. Oh, apparently Mox is coming in with his fake accounts, and for some reason, someone keeps unhiding them even after I keep hiding them, and they keep coming back. Like hiding them, and I don't know who it is, but whoever it is needs to stop. But that's it for today's live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. I will be doing a movie review video following this live stream. It will be premiering on this channel tomorrow, probably around 6 p.m. like I've been doing it. So bye guys, and until next time, peace. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who that guy is, but he's hiding the fake accounts, which I appreciate. But I just don't know why they keep coming back, even after they get hidden.